Welcome to another episode of Don Allphin on Fishing. I first have to give you a major apology for not posting sooner in August and late July, but we've had a family crisis that we're working through health-wise with one of our daughters-in-law. So I haven't been around much, but I actually shot a video about 2 weeks ago that was a good video on staging kokanee. With my jig, and quite frankly, I made a stupid mistake. See, I'm fishing right now that school of fish that you can see right there, and when I shot this video, it was earlier in the morning, and I didn't realize that the light coming off that finder would kind of blind everybody. And so here I was showing everybody how to catch fish and how to fish the school, and sure enough, none of that film was usable, or at least very little of it was usable. So here I am again this morning, trying to get you a little taste of what's going on with the kokanee. I'm just fishing right now with a chartreuse kokanator. I'm looking for what I call rogue kokanee, which are large kokanee that are coming in to spawn, and they kind of get by themselves sometime, and I'm just looking for those fish. So I'll fish a school, and then if I see a lone one going down to the bottom or whatever, I'll drop down and try to catch him. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And once again, I apologize for not being able to post any more in August, but I'm sure I'll repent of that and do some more before winter comes. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you enjoy today's episode. Well, this is the first bite I've had. It feels like a lake trout, but you never know. Just been out for just a few minutes this morning. I don't know what we've got for sure, but oh, it's a nice fish. Nice fish. That's a nice rainbow. Wow. That's a nice looking fish this morning. Wow, that's a solid rainbow. You know, that rainbow was an 18-incher, but and it got hooked not a little tiny bit deep, so I actually had to keep that fish. But the interesting thing about it is that these rainbows, this is one of the time of the year that I actually catch some awfully nice rainbows and cutthroats. And what they do is they'll follow the kokanee right up into the spawning beds, and then they'll eat their eggs as soon as they're laid. Now I don't know that they'll follow them all the way up the streams. You know, more than they'd normally be there, but boy, these rainbows really like to follow the kokanee at this time. So sometimes when you look down and you see a school, you may have some rainbow mixed right in with the kokanee as they're coming staging for the spawn. Well, let's see. I don't know what this is going to be again, but it came into a nice little school. It's coming up kind of like a kokanee. Yep, there it is. Nice little coke. Starting to turn. Yeah, that's a nice little coke. What I'm fishing here, that kokanee came out of that school right there. You can see that. So they're not quite at the bottom. I came up to 50 feet to catch that one, but that gives you an indication that there's just a few fish coming in, not a ton. But there you see as it's going a little bit more, a few more fish, and they go up and down in the column, but that's the main line right there at about 50 feet. You know, this time of year you have to be prepared to move a little bit. I've actually moved about 100 yards since I started, this morning, and I've had 3 fish on, got 2 to the boat. One I had to keep was a rainbow, nice rainbow, and then the other one was a kokanee, nice male. But anyway, I'm kind of just moving up a shoreline, and just kind of moving, looking for schools. I'm not like waiting for all the schools to come through the same area. I'm just kind of looking around, moving, and as soon as I see the right kind of school, I'll just drop down to them. That's how I really like to fish kokanee in August, as they're staging for the spawn. Found another school down there at now 55 feet. We're sitting in 70 feet of water, but we're gonna see if we can get any of these babies to bite. I've been missing bites the last 20 minutes. I've had 2 or 3 fish on, but just momentarily, and then they got off. I'm sure they were kokanee, have no doubt about it. But I like this particular line of fish. See if I can get down there and show it to you. You can see my peaks and valleys there on my jig. But there's that line, and they're kind of going right down to the bottom right now. Now they've come up a little bit, so I'm going to raise up to them. See if I can entice one to take a whack at it. Another fish on. It's coming up fast enough to be a colt for sure. Oh yeah, look at that baby. I think I'll try to net him if I can. There we go. That's another nice koke. Beautiful color. Beautiful fish. Once again, folks, all I'm doing is just finding an area. I've been ranging from anywhere from 45 to 75 to 80 feet of water, and I've been just looking for small schools, not necessarily large schools, because a lot of the large schools of kokanee still have immature fish in them. And those 10 or 12 inchers, if you catch them this time of year, you're going to have to keep them because they just don't release well. And so I try to avoid the larger schools and try to find the smaller schools with fish on the bottom. Now I'm just coming into one right there. I don't know whether you can see that, but there's one fish sitting there right on the bottom. I'm going to drop down to it and just see what we can do. But that's only one fish, so you know, it could be a little lake trout sitting down there, or it could be one of those rogue kokanee that I'm trying to find. So we just drop down and see what happens. I just came up to a nice school at about 30 feet, and I've got 2 schools, one at 30 and one at 60. So I've been playing around with the one at 30. Now I'm going to drop right down to the ones at 60 and just see if we have some biters in there. Just amazing to me when the kokanee will react. Sometimes they just instantly react to you, and then other times it's like pulling teeth to get them to react. You know, and I'm not a dummy. I realize that they're not necessarily eating this or wanting to eat this particular presentation. They do eat them, and but I realize they're plankton eaters, and some of these have stopped eating altogether because they're getting ready for the spawn. So it's more of just a reaction bite, but it's kind of funny. That's one of the challenges, is why it's so fun to be out here and fishing, because you learn things every time you come out, and you learn different things. Like this year is completely different than last year. The fish are not doing the same things that they did last year in August. And so you can't basically depend on last year's fish. You got to go find them this year and see what they're wanting. This year there are probably 10 times or 20 times the number of rainbow in the area and in this fishery than there were last year. And that's going to be exciting for years to come. But right now sometimes it gets annoying because you're right in the middle of a school of kokanee, and all of a sudden a 12-inch rainbow or a 10-inch rainbow comes up and grabs. And that gets a little frustrating sometimes. But now these fish have come back to 45 feet, and I'll continue to try to work this school. I've got 3 fish in the boat. I only need 1 to finish out my 4-fish limit for the Utah side. Now, speaking of that, you have to remember that that rainbow that I had to keep because it was hooked so deep does count for my limit. So I can only have 3 other kokanee in my boat because it's a 4-fish trout limit, if you will. Whether they're 4 kokanee or 3 kokanee and a rainbow, or 2 kokanee and 2 rainbow, or whatever other combination. I don't know what we've got here, but we've got a small fish on. Might be a rainbow, might be a kokanee. That's a nice coke. Very nice. That's the largest one of the day. Yep. That's it. That's the limit for me today. Beautiful, beautiful kokanee. Guys, I just want to tell you again that I apologize for not having more videos this last month, but family health crisis kept me from being here much, and plus I'm very, very busy in real estate and doing some things. I was just using a chartreuse kokanator today, dropping onto individual schools of fish, and we're talking about separation in the fish, so that the school is basically dispersed, but they keep moving up and down the column from 30 feet down to 70 feet, and just shaking that rod tip a little bit, jigging it up, and then let it drift down. It's been an absolutely fun morning. I've only been out for 1 hour and 40 minutes, so now I can get back to my work and get off the water and get these fish in the freezer. Hey, thanks again for watching, and look for some more kokanee videos as well as some lake trout videos a little bit later, maybe even a rainbow video. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.